Hey, chickadees. Welcome into today's episode of Mojo Mysticism. So, going to continue our week of Pulling from the Divine Abundance by Tasha Silver. Only today, it's a little different because I'm going to see if I can do this right. No, this is not my mother moving the camera. Oops, it's me moving it the wrong direction. Because my lovely wife, Tina, pulled the cards for us. So I'm going to read them off to you, and then I'm going to let Tina kind of chime in on what they mean because she's right on. So the first one we got was intuition, and this card says, each person's road to the inner Lord is extraordinary and personal. How liberating to listen inside and sense moment to moment, what's needed. Intuition. It's no coincidence, by the way, that there is an NI in the heart. And we'll talk about that too. And then the second card, we saw this yesterday. This is humility. It says, allow me, divine, to always accept the right assistance. I welcome your help in every way and delight in receiving it. Humility. And then the third card we got today was sanctity. And this card says, through offering, even the most mundane problem can become a sacrament. Sanctity. So, Tina, what's the message? Let me see if I can get this over there. Yay, there she is. What's the message? She said she didn't want to be on camera, and now I got her on camera.
The message that came across for me was to, first of all, to follow your intuition, trust in it, but be humble when you're asking for help, and revel in even the mundane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very good. So the intuition card is interesting because it has the heart and the third eye on it, both of them. Let's see if I can get this back over. Thank you, Tina. And it's no coincidence that this is coming up today because I'm literally writing the chapter in Shift that talks about coherence, and it's talking about heart coherence and mind coherence. And when the two of those, your heart, which is essentially your thymus gland, which is a little gland right back here behind your breastbone, just above your heart and below that indentation where the throat is. So it's kind of like right in there. So your thymus gland, we get that vibrating at a high frequency, and we get our pineal gland vibrating at a high frequency. And those two together, in fact, the Buddhists call that your consciousness. So that is why your intuition, the intuition card has both a single eye to represent your third eye, which is your crown chakra, which is where your pineal is. Your third eye chakra, your crown chakra's up here, Molly. Get with it, Molly. But it's representing that third eye chakra, right? Which, again, the axis, if you go a finger over your ears and between your eyes and back above where your neck and your head connect, the cross where those 4 points meet, or those two axes meet, is where your pineal gland is. And there's really great meditations you can do with your pineal gland to help activate it. And then your thymus gland right here in your chest. So your intuition it speaks to you in different ways, right? And it uses the clairs to do that. So it can be a feeling, which is clairsentience. It can be a voice, sound like a voice, which is your clairaudience. And then it can be claircognizance, which is just a quick knowing. And it can be other things, so many other things. Clairvoyance, where you have visions. So it just kind of depends. They'll use different ways. Your intuition will use different ways to kind of get your attention. So, but your intuition, then, when you know that you are understanding your intuition and that it is guiding you, you understand that it is personal to you. It's your intuition. It's not somebody else's, right? So it is personal to you. So when this card says, each person's road to the inner Lord, which is like the inner revealing of your highest and best self, right? That's extraordinarily personal, okay? And that liberating, it says how liberating to listen inside and sense moment to moment what's needed. it's so awesome to be able to do that, right? Because we don't have to worry anymore about what's going on. We just get to tune in to what's next for us and follow that intuitive hit. And a couple of hints on that. It usually won't be confusing. It may leave you with a lot of blanks that need to get filled in and will get filled in as you take the journey, but it won't be confusing. Okay? So it'll actually be, a lot of times, the path of, in fact, always, I'm going to say, because I think Bashar's right about this, it is the path of your most excitement. That is where your intuition is leading you. So you will naturally be very, very excited about it. And it really leads us to an understanding or a state of humility, because we really understand that our intuition is guiding us. Like, it's not our ego, right? It's our intuition. And that really brings us to that humility card that we saw yesterday as well. It's like when you are in a state where you understand that you are guided and that you are led by your higher self, your intuition, or by guides, you really don't have any choice. So, and sometimes when you might start to feel a little bit too big for your britches, like, they'll let you know. So I know, I've been there. They let me know. But this humility about really just understanding that I am going to call on the divine when I need guidance, right? Which is understanding that maybe I don't necessarily know it all. I don't have to know it all. And in fact, last week we talked about really a time when, just here in the last couple weeks, where I couldn't see where the next step was on the bridge, and my guide's turning me around and saying, see all the steps that we've laid out in front of you. We're going to continue to do that because we are your bridge. Your intuition is your bridge. And that gets us to sanctity. Okay? So enlightenment doesn't happen somewhere outside of you. I know that might be shocking. Probably for most of you, it's like, yeah, Molly, tell us something we don't know. But it doesn't. It happens right where you are. Okay? Right here, right now. And it's really about how we perceive the world. That's really what it comes down to. So, I'm writing this book named Shift, right? The word shift, the title of this book, is really indicative of a shift in your perception that helps you remember who you really are as a divine being. And that's when you understand the sacrament of the everyday, the mundane, the folding the clothes, right? Doing the dishes, the brushing the dog, the, feeding the kids, everything. The going to 600,000 soccer matches if you have kids and it's summertime, and they happen to play soccer. But whatever their sport is, it keeps us busy. It keeps parents busy, I should say. I don't have children of my own, but it will keep parents busy, right? But it's the mundane that happens. So that is where enlightenment happens. And yes, of course, going off on retreats and taking care of ourselves in that way is really, really important too. And we can have some incredible breakthroughs, right, when we're in those environments. And we get to bring it back and practice it in the mundane day-to-day lives that we live. And that's where I think it's really beautiful. And that's really where the rubber hits the road at the end of the day, because we're not hanging out in a cave for 5 years. Most of us, anyway, don't have that opportunity to do that. So we're bringing those things back that Spirit gives us and testing them out in the mundane. And little by little, we start to realize that our lives are so incredibly rich and beautiful just as they are. And it's really just a matter of how we frame it. So that's it for today, chickadees. Intuition, humility, and sanctity today. So I hope you have a fabulous day. I hope you find the sacrament in the mundane today. And I love you all. Thank you for being part of our community. And we'll see you back here tomorrow. Mwah.